Hello again, everybody. Sebastian Keynes here with another Watcher Realms video. In this one, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I'm not a particular fan of, but I figure we have to do it for the channel because it is a component of the game that we kind of have to focus on, especially if we want to come here to the arena shop and get some of these goodies here. So we have to talk about arena. Now, as you can see here, I'm hanging out in Plat 3. Sometimes I push into Overlord if I really want to, and things have been kind of changing here in the landscape over the last couple of weeks. But as I've told you before, I'm not an expert on it, but I did go searching in the DragonSlayers community for one particular expert that I know of that really pushes this content and has finished in Apex Overlord. And with that, I'd like to introduce you all to Mo of the DragonSlayers community. He's a little camera shy, so what you're going to see beside me is going to be just a picture of Mo from the Three Stooges. But Mo, thank you very much for joining me and kind of being a tutor for me and setting up some defenses for this content.
Yeah, hello everybody. I hope I can help you out a little, and let's see what you got there.
So how long have you been playing Watcher of Realms?
About a year now.
A year now? Okay. And this is a content that it appeals to you. You've been able to manage it and then push on it really strong.
Yeah, I like the content. Sure, it's a bit pay to win, you know, probably with the ancient exclusives.
Yes, exactly.
I got lucky with Pretos, and since then I'm pushing it. Yeah, it's fun. So especially fighting tougher opponents, that's appealing for me.
Okay, so as of today, the time that we're recording this, for me it's the 4th. For you, it might be on the 5th because you're in Germany, correct?
Yeah, but still the 4th.
It's still the 4th. So at the time of this recording, just give me an overall perspective of how the meta has changed and which modes were affected drastically.
Well, Ingrid had a really high impact here. We can see her in AoE and anti-air. Yeah, sorry. But in single target, she doesn't seem to have that kind of impact. Probably because she lacks the burst damage you need. So
she definitely arrived into the game and shake the meta up significantly. So I'm showing here everybody kind of the teams that are being run right now, especially by the top of Arena, and most of them do have Ingrid. There are a couple of here that are able to stay in Apex without her, but there's certainly a push here. Now, do you delineate whether you're going to go up against the defense if Ingrid is A0 to A2 versus an A3?
Yeah, it's definitely a difference. I mean, the charge up time for her big beam,
yeah,
that's tremendously low. I mean, it's just a leading. But again, it's hard to time right. That's why we don't see her in single target.
Okay, all right. Okay, so at least for me, I don't have Ingrid, so I'm not gonna fall into the crutch. But essentially what I want here is just to set up a couple of defenses that are able to sustain a little bit and that are going to help me to push into Overlord if I do have the time to then push and try to get that ancient crystal and maybe some extra diamonds in here. So let's start with my anti-air team. So you can kind of see right now the setup that I have right now, which is pretty much led by Iobar, and then I have Silas, Teowin, Hatsud, and Dolores. Is there a particular type of defense that you think would fit better in terms of possibly sustaining defense? Because I do know that in this type of setup here, there's a way to kind of cheese it. So when my Silas ultimate gets activated against the octopus, people take advantage of that and kind of throw timings off. And that's why sometimes I see a large, in my log, I see a lot of defense defeats.
Well, first off, you got a Nyx.
Do I have a Nyx? Well, let's go through the roster then. So let me click edit here and let me go marksman. All right.
You got an A5 Nyx.
I have an A5 Nyx. That is correct. So here she is, and I do have her fully skilled. And primarily, I did this because I wanted to push the Immortal Codex torrent.
Yeah, but you will love her in anti-air. She's really absolute beast.
All right. And then here, let me click on artifact because I don't know if I have her exclusive. I do have it, but it's only a 10.
Yeah, that's well, we can test it. I don't own it, but it looks definitely really strong, especially with the penetration. And at A3, she gets her ultimate pretty fast back, so I would try it.
If I didn't have it, what should people consider for her? Is the Sharpshooter Crest the okay one to use?
Yeah, I use it. Especially if you got Hatsut to deal with the late waves, then you can use the Sharpshooter Crest. Because when they float in, you get a problem when they are close to her, the bonies disappear. So you get an instant 30% less damage.
Okay.
And that can be problematic.
And for this setup, she needs to be A5.
A3 is
A3.
Okay too, but A5 adds a lot of damage.
Okay.
Because you can look into it. It's
I just put some gear on her just to try this out. So who else besides Nyx am I considering here?
I would keep the rest as it is. Just you can change Fearwind for her.
Okay, so we're taking Fearwind out and we're bringing Nyx in. So we got Eobar, Silas, Nyx, Hatsut, and Dolores.
Yeah, I basically use the same, but I don't have the exclusive Lord.
Okay.
I use Araha.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me so I'm gonna check gear here. I'm gonna gear my heroes and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're back here. We kind of did gear our heroes a little bit just to kind of set up the methodology, and then I can go ahead and improve this later on. So we have here Eobar. He's going to be in my Inferno Rose, one of my Inferno Rose sets with about 478 speed, and we can push him up to 14,000 attack. This is just going to be a representative example of how Mo would suggest building this up. Silas here is in a high critical damage set in Inferno Roar. For him, we're going to select Spirit Siphon as the artifact, and so we did the same with Eobar. We're going to substitute Theowind for this, but Hatsut here, we're going to put her in a Soulbound Arcana set and about 14,000 attack, almost 300 critical damage. And we're going to pick the Ripper's Emblem for her. Once I level her exclusive, then I'll probably switch over to that. Dolores, for much attack as we can in the Invigoration set. And like we said, we're going to bring in Nyx instead of Theowind. And my A5 Nyx is going to get this Soulbound Arcana set. So we're looking at about 16,000 attack, 422 speed. And for Artifact, we're going to leave it at Sharpshooter's Crest. And then later on, I can test out her exclusive and look to see if we can add a little bit more damage or speed up the run a little bit. So let's substitute this. Let's bring in Nyx, and now let's set this up and see how we would go about it. So you let me know how you would then try to would go ahead and set this up then, Mo.
Okay, perfect. On the little island, top left.
This one right here?
The left one?
Yeah.
There you put Silas.
Right here?
Silas first. Now, one to the left.
Right here?
Exactly.
Okay, let's put Silas there then.
Yeah, and then just let him do his job. You probably lose the first round against an enemy who puts it one in front, but that's no problem.
So yeah, so I usually when I set these up, I do lose the first round just to make sure that I can kind of dictate the pace in the beginning and get things revved up. But I do think that there is that stage with the octopus where people then come back and get you back. All right.
In front of him, you put Nyx as soon as you got enough costs.
In front of him, okay?
Yeah, Nyx.
All right, so we're waiting for 22.
You can activate his ultimate as soon as the flyer starts moving. Yeah.
And this one? Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's okay.
there we go. All right. So he's out. And there we go. And there we go. So
And you can
why?
immediately activate your ultimate.
All right. So for those watching, why is an A3 or an A5 Nyx so good in terms of this? Is it because how fast her ultimate comes in?
Yeah, it's about the ultimate. I mean, you get a little rage for every kill.
Okay.
So you get the ultimate back pretty fast. And when you reach A5, you get like a 50% chance to double damage on the AoE damage. And that can be tremendous, really tremendous.
All right. All right. And then we know why Silas is so good, right? He's just he just breaks defense and he can bust people up really well.
Yeah.
All right. So I kind of slowed.
Dolores. Oh, we forgot to put Dolores out.
Okay, so that's why I slowed things down here. So now I'm at 6 with Dolores available. Am I going to plop her down here? Deploy her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
so
on the. Yeah. Perfect.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna.
Now we can pop the ultimate from Nyx.
Okay.
And then just let her do her job.
All right, we'll let her do her job. Speed this up a little bit. So
because now you take over the ultimate into the next round.
Whose ultimate am I taking?
No. I was just saying you take her ultimate into the next round, and now you're just devastating those little flyers.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I have Hatsuda available. Do I deploy her? Or do I
you can deploy her.
Okay, so where am I placing her?
Just there.
Right here?
There, perfect.
All right.
Exactly. And now you can activate Silas.
Okay.
Because now the tentacle's coming in.
Okay, so activate Silas. And come back into range. All right, so Dolores ultimate, we're saving. Dolores ultimate, we're saving it for the big waves. I take it.
Yeah, no, you can pop it now.
Pop Dolores, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Nyx.
Nyx.
Yeah, and Hatsut, you save her for next one.
Okay. And we're almost at 16 cost here with for Eobar. So he's just going to be like an added bonus to this then.
Exactly. You don't really need him. I saw your Arafa is level Awakening 4.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, I think her bonus damage could be better than Iowa.
Oh, okay.
So, pop it and...
There we go. All right. And that does it, huh? So that was it. Just make sure that Silas is strong enough to handle the first couple of waves. And then Nyx just kind of takes over the whole thing.
Exactly. Before Ingrid, you would be in like top 50 with that comp right now.
Oh, okay. All right. But at least this should be easy to them. Just farm up and try to get to the Age of Overlord then on Saturday to Sunday type of deal.
Easy. Absolutely easy.
And now, if I were to go back and kind of revise this, maybe do look into replacing with Aracha, and since Eobar was not really needed here, I can get that extra boost with Aracha.
Exactly, and also it can help a little slowing down those tentacle things.
Okay.
With her stun, so she's not bad there, and you saw you don't need the damage from Iowa. So Nyx and Silas, they do a really good job there.
They did a great job. So in terms of if somebody didn't have an account like mine, and let's say they had Lunaria as an at least available to set up a little defense that they can use to push into Plat 3. Who do you think are kind of the heroes that they could possibly look into to really do very well in that content.
Well, I think Silas is kind of mandatory to push up.
So let's say right now, Ingrid, Silas for sure, right? Kind of the centers of the major pieces. But you know, like Sutram is not going to be widely used there because his ultimates is just too long to come back, right? Lucius,
it's not even the problem. The cost is the problem. 25 cost. It's too much.
So if you want to hang out in Plat 2, push into Plat 3. So you know, do you suggest like Laurel or excuse me, Hydro with a Teowin type mix? Try to do as much damage as you can, and then bring in any of the legendaries you might have to try to push it. I know Pelagius is somebody that I bring in for the in my Forerunners account, which really my anti-air team is horrible, but he is the one that I do count to clear that wave before that octopus comes out, and then he's ready for the next one.
Yeah, sadly, I have not much experience with Pelagius. I don't have him. But I can say I used Fewin and Murray for a long time because I simply had no headset.
Right.
They can work really, really nice. Fewin just has a problem with damage. His damage is pretty low, even if you put a lot of good gear on him.
So for those of you that are starting out, I mean, something like this would be this. So this is a new skin for Laurel. So yeah, it would be something like this where you can kind of start things out, do some damage, and then if you really need to slow things and put things to get right in front of you, you could do tier 1 with Mary if you wanted to. And you know, just try to burst damage as much as you can. Remember, don't bring in too many magic heroes because there's a lot of magic resistance at the end. So you just want to kind of rely on them to kind of slow things down for you. Like I told you all, in Forerunners, I do have Pelagius, so that's somebody that I do use to clear things. I think it's wave 4 before the octopuses come out, and then he's ready again for wave 6, and he does very well in terms of clearing that, especially when his vortex triggers. So those are kind of the heroes. But for this, it was kind of just an illustration of what type of compositions are really working in Platinum 3 Overlord and maybe even Apex Arena for anti-air. So not to make the video too long, I decided to section this off in 3 pieces. So we'll do anti-air on this one, and then we'll cover AoE Arena and single target in the next 2. So it'll be a 3-part series into this. There was a lot of information that Mo shared, and I just felt like putting it all in one video would just make it too long. So section it off. Very important information for the other 2 as well. So then you can just go ahead and pick the one that you are really more interested in. Now, I will say though that after we finished recording, we did kind of go back to talk about anti-air arena, and he did tell me that one of the heroes, at least if we're considering Apex to try to help you out very early on, especially if you can get her fully awakened, would be Breen. So Breen has this split that she has with her ultimate. So if you can bring somebody else in to kind of boost her rage, she could probably help you out in making sure that she can handle these particular waves when they come into the picture. If you don't have many of the marksmen, especially the piercers here. The situation with Hex is that sometimes it can be a little bit too slow, but you can try to take advantage of it. You just have to time things very well. So, and then, like you said, one of the problems with Sutram is that he has a high cost. So does Rasak. But there is something that, at least in the very early plat levels, you can try him if you want, kind of in a similar situation that I did. But the thing is that you have to make sure you have silence, because you need somebody to really back up that AoE damage if at all possible. Okay. The like I said, I do like Teowin to kind of slow things down, and if you have his exclusive artifact, it does help because he adds physical damage vulnerability. So these guys can help kind of clean things up for you. Lunaria is mostly I use her because the extension, her lower bonus, And there are some situations where she can, if she hits the right target, she'll help you bring it down and kind of slow him down. But it's just this octopus. It's just high magic resistance. So I would not really emphasize using magic dealers to deal with those in particular. So that's kind of the overview that I can give you right now in terms of entire arena for the early or for the mid game, late game. And of course, I kind of give you an example of what the Overlord arena type of composition that you can put together if you do want to push this content a little bit more and get some more tokens. So you can go in the shop and get some ancient crystals or even a divine crystal if you have enough tokens. So we'll leave that there for part one. I do want to again thank Mo for joining me and kind of showing me how to properly set up some teams and things that I can possibly do to maybe one day push Apex. I doubt it, but it is there. The account is there, and like you said, Ingrid kind of changed things up a little bit, but there are some compositions out there that can probably help you get into Apex at least. So we'll stay tuned for part 2 and 3 as we deal with the 2 other modes of Arena. And for this one, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Do please remember to hit like and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you all in the next Watch Our Realms video.